Hello, my dear class 6 students. Welcome back. So today we are going to start a new chapter, that is chapter 15, Air Around Us. Okay, chapter 15, Air Around Us. Now you can also refer your textbook, okay, along with the explanation. Now, air. Now, air, though we cannot see it, we can feel it, right? We can sense it. Now, air is very important, okay? Air is very important. So, okay, now I'll show you one example. Now, see, you can just feel the air, right? Now, I'll just throw this paper here, okay? See, now it is following the direction of the wind, right? So, air will say that it has no color, so we'll say it is transparent, okay? Transparent. Because we cannot see it, but we can feel it, okay? Now the second one, we have an experiment which is given in your textbook. Clear? So I'll show you an example for that. You can take an empty bottle, okay? You can just take one bottle and then you can just, this is an empty bottle, okay? Let's say this is an empty bottle. And let's say this is a ball, okay? This is a ball. This is a ball where we have water. Clear? So now you might be thinking that, okay, now this is an empty bottle. I've thrown all the water, so this is empty, right? So now we'll reverse this one and like in the inverted side, okay? And then we will push this one. Okay, we will not tilt like very tightly, okay? But we'll just keep this one. We'll push a little bit here in the ball of water. Now, what do you think? Do you think the water will enter inside or not? No, the water will not enter inside. Why? Because this, though it is empty, there is an air inside this empty bottle. Okay, that's why there is no water. And now, how we will prove this one? We will push this one. We will tilt like very hard. So we'll push this one. When we push this one very hard, we'll push this one. Then what we will observe? We'll observe a droplets. Okay, we will observe a bubbles, right? So you can also try this activity. This is very simple, just empty bottle, and then you push this one down in the bowl of water. And what you'll observe is, you'll observe bubbles coming out from this bottle, and then water will enter inside. So this water, these are the air which is present inside the bottle. Clear? Now, this air, okay, air, this earth is, suppose this is an earth, right? So we are surrounded by the air, okay? So that's why it is known as atmosphere. Atmosphere. So what is atmosphere? It is just the blanket of air which is surrounding the Earth's surface. That is atmosphere. Now, students, suppose this is a mountain, okay? If you go up high, then what will happen? The air would increase or decrease. The air decreases, okay? There is less air when you go up high. Now that's why these mountaineers, okay? This mountaineer, what they do, mountaineer, on their back they carry a oxygen, okay? Oxygen cylinder. They carry oxygen cylinder. Since when they move up high, there is less air, okay? So I'll show you here. So this is earth and this is mountain. So this mountaineers, what they do is on their back they carry an oxygen cylinder. Okay. So now, students, until 18th century, okay, everyone thought that this air is just a single substance. Clear? Everyone thought that air was just a single, but air is a mixture of gas. Clear? Air is a mixture of gas. So now what we will do here is now we'll see what are the ingredients present inside this air. Okay, so suppose in order to make a tea, we need water, sugar, we need the milk, and then we need the tea leaf, right? So I think we have like more of water in a tea, right? The majority part of the water consists of this water, right? So we will see, same as we'll see what are the composition of the air, okay? So air is a mixture of gas, so we have nitrogen, okay? We have nitrogen. We also have oxygen. Clear? Now, we also have carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide. We also have water vapor. Water vapor. Now, we also have dust and smoke. And we have some other gases like argon, etc. Okay, so please note down all these things. Okay, so my dear students, do you know that in air, okay, the majority portion consists of this nitrogen and oxygen. So we have 71% nitrogen in an air, okay, and then we have 28% of oxygen. That means just nitrogen and oxygen itself, they are contributing 99%. That means the air that we can feel, the air that is surrounding us is composed mostly of nitrogen and oxygen. Okay. Now, all these other gases, they compose of 1%. Okay. So we have 71%, 28%, and 1%. Now, if you add up everything, it will come up to 100%. Clear? So the percentage composition you have to keep in mind. Clear? So if you are asked to write the composition of air in exam, you have to write everything. Clear? Nitrogen 71%, oxygen 28%, and all the other gas like carbon dioxide, we have water vapor, and then dust and smoke, and argon, they compose of 1%. Clear? So now what we'll do is we'll study about all the composition like in detail. Clear? Okay, so students, we have water vapor in air as well, right? Water vapor is also one of the constituents in the air. So now this water vapor is very important for water cycle, okay? Water cycle. Now I'll show you one example here. Let's say this is an ocean, okay? Let's say this is an ocean. Clear? Suppose this is an ocean and then we have sun here. Okay, so this ocean is getting a heat from the sun. The sun is radiating this heat in this ocean. So what will happen? This ocean water, it will evaporate, right? So it goes up, okay? It goes up. Now it goes up and then it will condense to form a cloud. Clear? It will condense to form a cloud. And what happens to the cloud? The cloud, they will fall down in the form of a rain, right? They will fall down in the form of a rain or in the form of snow. And it will fill this rainwater will fill in the ground, then to the river, and then back to the ocean. Okay? Will fill the ground, then river, and then back to ocean. And then the same cycle will continue. And then heat will be given out like from the sun, and then it will evaporate. It will become, this droplet will form a cloud. And then this cloud will form in the form of a rain, and then back to the ocean. So one very important point in this water vapor I want you to note down is water vapor plays a very important role in water cycle. Okay, and we all need water. We cannot survive without water, right? So you have to keep these important points under water vapor. Okay, now the second point, let's discuss about the oxygen. So students, oxygen composed of 28% in the atmosphere, right? In the air. So now, why this oxygen is very important? Because without oxygen, we will not be able to burn anything. Okay, oxygen is a supporter of combustion. Clear? Oxygen is a supporter of combustion. That means without oxygen, we will not be able to burn anything. Okay, let's say, suppose this is a candle. Okay, this is a candle, and if we cover this candle, now see, we are able to burn this candle. There is a fire in this candle because of this oxygen which is present in the air. Now, if I cover this candle with a glass, inverted glass, okay, what happens? Slowly, you will see the fire get extinguished, right? The fire get extinguished. Clear? Why? Because the supply of oxygen is getting limited. Okay, so that's why now you see the fire get extinguished. So that's why one very important point from oxygen that you have to note down is oxygen is a supporter of combustion. Okay, now oxygen does not take part, but oxygen supports the combustion. Clear? Okay. Now, student, see, this oxygen is needed by human beings for respiration, right? Even plants, they need oxygen for respiration. And even for burning, we need oxygen, right? So there is a high demand of oxygen, clear? But why this oxygen does not get over? Okay, so the reason is because there is a balance. Okay, there is a balance of this oxygen and carbon dioxide. Let's say this is a person. Let's say this is you. Okay, one of you. Now this person needs what? Oxygen for respiration, right? So he takes oxygen, and then what does he do? He releases carbon dioxide, right? He takes oxygen, and then while exhaling, he releases carbon dioxide. So what happened to this carbon dioxide? It is taken by the plants. Okay, the plants need this carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide is very important for plants. This is one of the ingredients. This is like their rice. Okay, plants, carbon dioxide is like their rice. Okay, so they take these plants, they trap this carbon dioxide in the presence of sunlight. Okay, so now once and during this process in the photosynthesis, plants release oxygen, right? So that is why it is balanced. Even though like there is so much consumption of oxygen, okay, so much consumption of oxygen, there is a release of carbon dioxide, right? So we have many plants in this world, and then the plants, they eat this, they eat this carbon dioxide, and while they take this carbon dioxide, they give out oxygen. Okay, that's why we do not run short of oxygen. Clear? Because plants, they are giving out oxygen. Clear? So I'm sure you are clear with the second point. Now let's discuss about the third point, that is nitrogen. Okay. Okay, so student, nitrogen is the very nitrogen is the majority in the composition of air, right? Because it consists of 71% of the air that I have already explained, right? So now this nitrogen, unlike oxygen, is a non-supporter of combustion, okay? That means non-supporting of burning, okay? This combustion means burning. So now this nitrogen, why it is non-supporter of combustion? Now let's go back to the activity that I have shown you. I have given you an example of this candle, right? Now what happens? Let's continue from here. Now this fire get extinguished, right? Once we cover this candle with a glass, inverted glass, okay? Inverted glass, now the fire get extinguished. That is because there is a limited supply of oxygen, right? But still you'll see there is a gas present inside, right? You will observe that, okay? So you'll observe there is a gas present inside the glass, inside this candle, okay? So what is that gas? That gas is the nitrogen, okay? Nitrogen. So nitrogen is a non-supporter of combustion. And one very important thing for nitrogen is it is very important for plants, okay? Plant nutrient. Plant nutrient. That means plant need this for healthy growth. Clear? So we are done with the 3 points. Now let's discuss about the dust and smoke. Clear? Dust and smoke. So dust and smoke are also present in an air. Okay. Now, if you burn something, okay, if you burn something, obviously there will be a smoke, right? There will be a smoke. Now, have you ever touched the smoke or not? If you touch the smoke, maybe in the chimney, okay, in the chimney, if you just touch the smoke, you'll feel there is a small dust particle, right? Black in color. So now, even in an air, we have this dust and smoke particle. Clear? Dust and smoke. Now, this, the dust or the smoke, these are not good for health, okay? Now, if you go if you go to near big industries, okay, now, or a big machine where they release many this smoke, what happens is that they pollute the environment, okay? They pollute the environment. Now, see, a moving air, or the air in the motion is known as wind, okay? Wind. Moving air is known as wind. Now, because of the wind, because of the movement of air, now all the smoke and dust, these are around the atmosphere, right? So, if we are near these big industries, the atmosphere, they pollute the atmosphere, okay? And once we inhale the gas, it affects our respiratory organs. Clear? So, that is the 4th point regarding the dust and smoke. And the last point under this one, under the mixture of gas, would be carbon dioxide. Okay, carbon dioxide. The 5th point will be carbon dioxide. Clear? Now, carbon dioxide, out of 100%, okay, out of 100% in the air, it consists of just 0.003%, okay, but it is very important, and also it is very harmful, okay. Now, see, we are also releasing carbon dioxide, right? Whenever we exhale, we are releasing carbon dioxide, and also whenever the gas, okay, I'll give you one example. Suppose in a closed room, okay, in a closed room, means there is no space for oxygen, okay? Now in a closed room, if you are burning something, you get suffocated or not, right? Why do you get suffocated? That is because of the carbon dioxide, okay? Why do you get suffocated in a closed room where you are burning something? It's because of carbon dioxide, okay? And carbon dioxide, even see, if you have a dry leaf or if you burn, okay, if you burn a dry leaf and all, the gas that is released from there is carbon dioxide. Clear? Now, human being also, we release carbon dioxide, right? So you have to keep in mind regarding this one. Clear? Okay, so students, we are done. We are done with the air, okay, the components of air. Now, I'll give you one assignment, that is, I want you to write the importance of air, okay? What are the importance of air? I'll give you some one or two example, or so you can also add it up, okay? So let me tell you that without this air, okay, there will not be a movement of aeroplane, parachutes and all. Clear? Now, without this air, we will not get what? Oxygen, right? We will not get oxygen. Now, there are many points under the importance of air. So I would like to give this assignment, okay? Assignment, so that you can write, you can add more points. Now, the last topic under this chapter would be windmill, okay? We'll study about the windmill. So now all together we're going to study about the wind. So like I have said, this wind is a movement of air. Clear? Movement of air. Now, do you know this? This is a windmill, right? Now, this windmill works with the help of the wind, okay? With the help of the wind, this gets rotating, okay? It rotates because of the wind. Clear? Now this windmill helps in drawing water from the well, okay? It helps to draw water from tube wells. The second is even to run a flour mill. Clear? And the most important one is to generate electricity. Clear? It helps in generating electricity. Clear? So just these 3 points is enough, so you can keep this in mind. Windmill works with the help of the wind, because without wind, it will not rotate. Okay? Without wind, this windmill will not rotate, and the 3 important uses of windmill will be, it helps in drawing water from the tube wells. The second is to run a flour mill, and the last one and the most important one is it helps in generating electricity. Clear? So that comes to the end of this chapter, Air Around Us, and I'm sure you will write the assignment that I've given you, that is to write the importance of air. Okay? So thank you so much, students. See you in the next class.